Now Jehovah appeared to Abraham in the form of 3 men among the big trees of Mamre. And the Lord appeared to Abraham at the sacred trees of Mamre. As Abraham was sitting at the entrance of his tent during the hottest part of the day, he looked up and saw 3 men standing there. As soon as he saw them, he ran out to meet them, and bowing down with his face touching the ground, he said, "Lord, please do not pass by my home without stopping. I am here to serve you. Let me bring some water for you to wash your feet. You can rest here beneath this tree. I will also bring a bit of food. It will give you strength to continue your journey. You have honored me by coming to my home, so let me serve you." They replied, "Thank you, we accept." Abraham hurried into the tent and said to Sarah, "Quick, take a sack of your best flour, and bake some bread." Then he ran to the herd and picked out a calf that was tender and fat, and gave it to a servant, who hurried to get it ready. He took some cream, some milk, and the meat, and set the food before the men. There under the tree he served them himself, and they ate. The statement Jehovah appeared let we know that it was a visible manifestation of God. That is, the Father, the Word, and the Holy Spirit in the shape of 3 men. Here we find an example, not only of entertaining angels unawares, but also of God becoming the guest of one of his saints. Be not forgetful to entertain strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unawares. Jesus said, "If a man love me, he will keep my words, and my Father will love him, and we will come unto him, and make our abode with him." I stand at the door, and knock. If any man hear my voice, and open the door, I will come into him, and will sup with him, and he with me. I believe the reason 3 appeared was to show that the Father, the Word, and the Holy Spirit were in agreement with the message that was brought. Abraham realized who this was, even from a distance, and he ran out, and kneeled, and prayed. Abraham humbled himself before these 3 men, and he said, "My Lord," as was used knowingly by Abraham of his true and sovereign Lord, whom he addressed as Jehovah. He said, "If you have judged and found me okay, don't leave." Abraham recognized now, he was God's servant. Let a little water be fetched, and wash your feet. Here we find a delightful picture of primitive hospitality. It was therefore a great refreshment in so hot a country to get the feet washed at the end of a day's journey, and this is the first thing that Abraham proposes. And he said, "Rest yourselves under the tree," and he offered to them refreshment, and they accept his invitation, and they said, "Sadu, as thou hast said." Abraham was so excited, he gave them the very best he had, like a sacrifice. He set the food before them, the cakes and butter, the milk and fatted calf, and stood by them under the tree, and they did eat. For as God took bodies for a time, so he have the abilities of them, to walk, to eat and drink, and such like. Then they asked him, "Where is your wife Sarah?" "She is there in the tent," he answered. And he said, 9 months from now I will come back, and your wife Sarah will have a son. Sarah was behind him, at the door of the tent, listening. Abraham and Sarah were very old, and Sarah had stopped having her monthly periods. So Sarah laughed to herself and said, "Now that I am old and worn out, can I still enjoy sex? And besides, my Lord is old too." Then the Lord asked Abraham, "Why did Sarah laugh and say, 'Can I really have a child when I am so old?' Is anything too hard for the Lord? As I said, 9 months from now I will return, and Sarah will have a son." Because Sarah was afraid, she denied it. "I didn't laugh," she said. "Yes, you did," he replied.